All right, Dad. What did you like?
What did I like? Let me
Like?
let me get to the likes here. All right, top of the food chain. Say it's a Mufasa movie. That's a Lion King joke.
Nah. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video of me and my old man in a movie. I'm Gannon. This is my dad, Ryan, and we're going to be reviewing the film Mufasa the Lion King today. And if you like this video, make sure you like, subscribe, it would help out a lot, and comment down below if you liked or did not like Lion King and why or why not.
Absolutely.
So let's read a brief synopsis before we get started. Lost and alone, orphaned cub Mufasa meets a sympathetic lion named Taka, the heir to a royal bloodline. The chance meeting sets in motion an expansive journey of an extraordinary group of misfits searching for their destinies. So there you go.
Sums it up.
So we're going to be doing this a little bit differently today than normal reviews. So what are we doing differently?
Well, normally we cover acting, directing, writing, cinematography, music. And we just kind of rate the categories. As we've been thinking through it, we're going to just change things up. We're going to do 3 things we like, 3 things we'd change. We'll rate it at the end. And then after that, we're going to recommend whether see this on the silver screen, wait till it streams, or
pass on it
altogether. So we'll kind of try to format these the same as we go through with our reviews. So
all right.
Let's start with the first one.
All right, Dad. What did you like?
What did I like? Let me
let
me get to the likes here. All right, top of the food chain. Say it's a Mufasa movie. That's a Lion King joke.
Nah.
Top of the food chain, CGI.
I had that one too.
Visuals.
Yeah.
Oh my.
This was easily the best visual effects of any movie this year.
Yeah,
by far.
Visual masterpiece to me. Yeah. I listened to a guy that was actually the other day critiquing this film based on the visuals. He's like, it was stunning in parts, but boy, there were some parts. It's like, has this film even been processed yet? I was like, how can you say that?
No way.
How can you say that? Like, I thought, you can critique anything, right? You can pick anything apart. But this is, to me, Disney at its finest as far as the visuals. I think it was just, they were showing off what they're capable of when it comes to making an animation, if you want to call it that, whatever. I know there's disagreement on what this is, but like, making it look real.
It did. Everything was just so vibrant and real, and the expressions on the lions' faces compared to like the first adaptation of the Lion King remake in 2019. One of the big complaints was they aren't expressive enough, and that they feel so dull, and it just felt there was nothing. There was no emotion on the faces. There was all like so much emotion was displayed. We
used to, my mom passed away last year, but we used to always tease because she would like get fooled in movies, and there was a scene there that I thought, right now she'd be asking, how did they get the lion to do that? I mean, it was that believable. So
it was incredible.
I thought the cubs, the close-up, they did several close-ups of the faces. When the 2 cubs were racing, when Taka and Mufasa were racing, the hippos just always grabbed me when they did the thing. I was like, those are so cool. Yeah. The wet fur, the underwater scenes.
Oh, yeah. The water was great.
The coloring of the white lions, that scene when you go into kind of where their pride was. Yeah. Just can't say enough.
There was one shot where like a raindrop was coming down, and it had the face like it was
catches
just.
Them. I think that was one.
It was in the trailer. It was in the trailer, but it was beautiful to see on the IMAX.
Yeah,
and then the snowy mountains I thought were just the best. There were shots where it would show all of these mountains and stuff when they're just standing there looking over. It was insane. Yeah, it was just a visual masterpiece.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so that's a like for both of us. I'll give a second one. I liked hearing and seeing the backstory. Again, some of the critiques that I had seen was, who cares? We don't care about Mufasa. Even Mom mentioned in the car that, she's more of a fan of Simba. She wanted more of that story, so she was glad that there was an element of them at the beginning of the film. But for me, I liked finding out more about the father. It was kind of like, when they did the prequels to the Star Wars, and you get to learn about Anakin Skywalker. Now, I think they did a better job than Star Wars did, personally. But I liked it. I liked the adoption element to this. Again, there was another critique I'd seen where people were like, why weren't they real brothers? I could see that, but I think they made it work with how he came into the family.
They did.
And there were elements of that I thought were great.
And I was not as much the origin of Mufasa, but I was interested in the origin of Scar more. I think like he interested me more. Like how did he become Scar, and how you could see over time how he started changing the way he saw Mufasa and stuff, and I thought that was really good. And how he got his scar. It was all there.
I think it was a worthwhile thing. So that's my second like. What do you got for number 2?
Origin of Scar.
Do you really? Origin of Scar.
Origin of Scar. That was my second.
So overall the backstory and then Origin of Scar. Anything about more on that, or did you feel like they did a good job?
I feel like they did a good job. I do have a critique on it, but we'll get to that when we get to the what will change. About the Origin of Scar, but we'll get there.
Okay. The last thing I've got is just the tribute to James Earl Jones at the beginning. He's the original voice for Mufasa, and I just love when they're able to pay tribute to the history of the story, the actors that portrayed certain characters so long ago. So I just really appreciated Disney's handling of that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my third one that I really liked was when you first saw the white lions in the tall grass. I thought that scene was so intense. I was on the edge of my seat when they're crawling low.
Yeah, when
they're hunting down the deer or gazelle or whatever they are, and they think they're just the gazelle are there, and they're like crawling under the tall grass, and the lions are there on the other side of the tree, and you're just waiting for that. It was pretty intense.
Yeah.
I thought that was intense.
I thought that I know this goes back to the visuals, but like just the muscles on the lions and the movement. Just great.
Man, the white lions, they were huge.
Yeah. The king lion was great. All right, so that is our likes. Now we're going to go to a few things that we would change
about it. Yeah.
Now this doesn't mean we didn't like the movie or that we are complaining about certain things. It's just these are just things tweaks that we might make. If we were in charge of Mufasa. So, all right, you want to kick it off?
All right, so the first thing I would say is the music wasn't as prominent as I would have liked it to be. I think Lin-Manuel Miranda, I was really excited to see his music in Lion King, and it really didn't hit as hard as I would like it to. And so the music was a bit of a downer. I thought that he probably would have been better off doing Moana 2, because he didn't do Moana 2 to do Lion King, and so I think he should have done Moana 2, because his style of music sounds more like Moana's music than Lion King.
Right, because he did. Okay, so I'm going to just jump in here and say this was my number 1 too, the music, as far as what I would change. I want to comment on what you just said. We talked about it in the car after we left with Mom and Callie, that he did Moana, the first Moana, so it had his signature thumbprint on it, right? So like it would have been easier for him to continue that, because that was his lane. He created that story, that sound, to continue that rather than pull out and then try to recreate something new in Lion King when it already had an established sound that was different than his sound. So that was kind of a mismatch for me. I thought Elton John, who did some of the original music, he's still around. Like let's pull him back in. Let Lin-Manuel do Moana 2, and maybe that would have been better.
Better for both films.
Yeah.
Both films.
On the music, I've got. I thought just in general, it's a tough comparison because the songs in Lion King were so iconic. I mean, you've got Circle of Life, Hakuna Matata, Can't Wait to Be King. How do you match that? How do you even get in the same realm as that? I feel like those songs had universal appeal, whereas the songs in this one, as I've thought back on them, were a little bit more specific to the storyline. So I don't know that they're ones that you would grab and kind of create anthems out of in real life, which may be another problem. I did like the Brothers song.
Yeah, that was the best song.
And Yeah. I thought I was with you. I thought initially it was a good idea, Lin-Manuel, but as I went through it and then of course certainly watched it, I was like, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
So that would have been a change.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else on that, or are you ready for number 2?
Let's go number 2.
What do you got?
Let's go number 2. That was something right
there. Nice. We'll leave that in there just for y'all. All right.
So I thought this is one of my critiques about the origin of Scar. I thought that he changed too fast, but not just that he there were moments where he just flipped. Mm-hmm. And then he flipped back again. And I thought it was just, he flip-flopped a bit too much and it was too fast, and I didn't see a reason that he would immediately go into that.
Yeah. That almost made my list. Any more on that? It almost made my list.
Yeah, I don't have much more on that.
There's a couple pieces involved in that I don't want to specify because I think it'll kind of ruin pieces of the story. But there's more to that I think
we might talk about that if we do spoilers.
Yeah. So all right. So another one for me is that I thought after watching this, I started thinking back to the original cartoon animation versus the live action, and I thought maybe Lion King just works better as an animated cartoon. Mm-hmm. Like we talked about the expressions earlier. I liked the live action of Lion King. I thought the cartoon just worked better. And then it made me think maybe this would work better as a cartoon too. Now, once you've already done a live action Lion King, you've got to move forward with the live action Mufasa, I feel like.
But I think it was just such a visual flex for them to be able to put out.
Yes, no doubt. And I wouldn't want to take away from that because it was, and I wouldn't want to lose that. But just as a piece, if I'm saying, hey, would this work better as a cartoon animation or this CGI thing we've created? I think maybe it would have hit better with some people if it would have been a cartoon animation.
I mean, I think that might be
so true. That was number 2. All right.
Yeah.
There we go again.
Number 3. There were times, this is really interesting, but there were times that you felt bad for Scar, and there was a point at which it almost felt like Mufasa was the bad guy.
Really? All right. I got to think about this.
In the film, it felt like Mufasa was almost the bad guy. And Scar, you're almost on his side.
I mean, that's always powerful when you can take the antagonist and create like concern for him and empathy for him. I mean, that's what makes the original Joker so powerful to me is that you're like cheering for the bad guy, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So that's
there were moments. I don't want to get into those moments.
So you would have changed that then, or you're just?
Well, I may have made it where it didn't make Mufasa as much of a bad guy. It just felt like Mufasa was. I wouldn't change the fact that you feel bad for Scar. I would change how it made Mufasa look.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't want to get into that too much because it is spoilers there.
Yeah.
That I don't want to say.
Got you hating on Mufasa a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. So number 3 for me was the cutaways to the. So this whole thing is set up with Rafiki telling a story to Simba's son,
which is in the trailer,
right? Yeah. And then they're telling this backstory. Mm-hmm. So then they would cut back and forth between the two. In parts, I liked that because it brought Timba. What is it?
Kara?
No, the two.
The boar and the meerkat.
Timber. I don't know their name. I can't think of their names right now. Anyway, it brought them back into the story, and that was some of the comic relief that I think was provided for what was an otherwise could be a very dark story.
It could be. There was some
King
funny
was dark
parts.
Too.
There were some funny parts. Within the actual story.
But like, it's a pretty heavy storyline. Mm-hmm. But again, the first one was too. When you start thinking about the death of Mufasa and different things.
Yeah.
So, but the cutaways almost detracted. Like, and this was actually the same for the music. Anytime they would cut to a song or cut to back to current time, it kind of lost me a little bit. I was like, wait, I'm in the story. Keep me in the story. Mm-hmm. And so I felt like that was a little lost in that. So there it was. Anything else?
So nothing really to say, but rating.
Ratings.
Let's do a rating.
We go. All right, now for our ratings today.
We're doing three-legged zebra.
Three-legged zebras,
Mhm.
because that's
in
a
the
joke
movie.
in the film.
Yeah.
So,
So we're
here
gonna
we go.
rate this. I'm gonna rate this 7.4 three-legged
Are
zebras.
you kidding me? At 7.6. In fact, I call it 7 3/4 three-legged zebras for 3/4 of a zebra's legs are there. You see what I did there?
Yeah.
7 3/4 zebra legs. Zebras. Three-legged zebras.
For sure.
7.4, really?
7.4.
Wow, we came so close. Within 2/10.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so final question then, Gannon. Would you recommend this to go see on the silver screen?
Theater, home, or pass it up altogether? I'm gonna say see it in the theater, not necessarily because it's a great story or you need to see the story, but because of the visuals alone. Go see it in the theater because it just you want that huge scale experience with this film.
I say same thing. See it in the theater. Same reason. We saw it on an IMAX screen, not even an AMC IMAX. We went to the downtown Aquarium IMAX.
That's huge IMAX.
And it was just beautiful to watch. So get it on the biggest screen you can get it on. Mm-hmm. Spend the $15 and go do it.
It's worth it.
And enjoy the spectacle of The Lion King. So today we're going to see
Sonic 3. I'm excited about this one. People are calling this the best Sonic film. I like the other two Sonic films, so
it's the best Sonic film. That's my Donald Trump
impression.
All right, so Sonic 3 will be next. We'll have our blue background for that one, I imagine, and we'll be off to the races.